So I want us to be able to understand this thing. You got to know where your help is coming from. You have to know that he's there to heal you and there to deliver you. And I want you to be like that persistent woman who kept going to an unrighteous judge. She had been wronged, and all she kept doing, she kept going back to him, kept going back to him. And out of the sheer annoyance of who she was, the judge gave her what she wanted. And at the end of the scripture, when Christ is teaching, he says, now here it is, an unrighteous judge has given this woman what she needed, what she was supposed to have. How much more will your righteous God deliver unto you? But you got to be persistent. You got to keep going after it. I know it doesn't make any sense when people start telling you that you shouldn't be talking to God, you shouldn't be worrying to him. And guess what? They don't always say it like that. They're not going to come right out and say you shouldn't believe and you shouldn't pray and what you're doing is dumb and what you're doing is stupid. But it'll be in their spirit, it'll be in their minds, it'll be how they encourage you. It'll be how they talk to you, let you know, I hear you. That church thing ain't really for me. I had to go out and get mine. Right? And so I want you to understand who you need to go to and how God is there to help you and deliver you. But listen to this next part right here. I want y'all to get this. I love this part right here. Y'all ready? There's another piece that I want you to understand, and we hear this all the time, and I don't want this to be a cliche, but it says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I mention this sometime, but I want you to know, I want this to be in your spirit, that weapons are being formed against you. There are weapons that are assigned to you. Ain't nothing I can really do. As much as I love you and care about you, I can't stop the weapons from being formed. They're being formed to destroy you. They're being formed to rob you of your peace, to rob you of your wealth, to rob you of your happiness, to rob you of good and great relationships. They're being formed to destroy all of that. There's sometimes they're going to hit you, and you're going to fall down, and it's going to hurt. You will get hurt in life. You will be confused about why all of these things are happening to you. But what the scripture says, these things will not prosper. I mean, they won't grow. But you got to know who you belong to. You got to know how to cast these things down. You got to know how to take your hits, get your healing, and move on. But here's the thing. Here's how they can prosper. When you take your hits, you start blaming God. You start blaming other people. You get caught up in this, you get caught up in that, and you're not seeking your healing. And I don't know what your healing is. I don't know what you need to be healed with. But God knows. And even if you're at a point where you can't really utter it in words, let me tell you what the scripture said. That when you cry, when you moan, that heaven interprets those tears. Every tear that you cry, it knows what's in the midst of those tears. Every moan and groan that you have, heaven knows what's